We're going to start by opening up across the front of the shoulders, the front of the chest, and working into the thoracic spine. So we're going to take a block, or if you don't have a block, you can use a bolster, or you can even roll up your mat, and you want it to go right across your shoulder blades. And then let your head rest on your mat. If it doesn't comfortably rest down on your mat, you can place a pillow underneath your head. Arms can come out to the sides, palms facing up. You don't want to feel any pinching or pain in the lower back. If you feel any of those kind of sensations, perhaps your block or your bolster is a little bit too low. You want to feel it pressing up against your shoulder blades. We're going to stay here for a couple minutes. So just focus on completely surrendering the entire weight of your body down. So release the weight of your body down onto your block or your bolster. See if you can begin to feel a nice broadening and opening across the chest and the fronts of the shoulders. And then we can grab opposite elbows and reach them up overhead. Allow your breath to just be calm and quiet. So not trying to force or manipulate the breath in any way, but just focusing on just completely relaxing every muscle. After your next breath, slowly begin to release the hands. You can bend your knees, bringing the soles of the feet onto your mat, and just gently roll to one side. Remove the block from your mat and roll back onto your back and hug your knees in towards your chest and just gently rock from side to side. See if you notice any differences in the back. And we'll roll up and down our spine a couple times, so bringing the hands to the creases of your knees. Eventually rolling yourself all the way forward into a tabletop position. So we want to stack our hips right on top of our knees. And then when you're ready, keeping the hips stacked right on top of the knees, walk the hands forward and melt your chest down towards the mat. If you have any tightness or feel too much tightness in your shoulders, you can either bring a bend to your elbows, or you can widen the hands so that they're wider than shoulder width apart. In our yin practice, this pose is called our melting heart pose. So we want to do exactly that. We want to feel with every exhale our heart melting closer to the ground. Try and soften completely here. Releasing any muscular engagement. Allowing your awareness to just settle on your breath. If you feel like you're getting enough of an opening here in this pose, you can choose to stay here. If you want to deepen a little bit further, you can grab 2 blocks and come into the same pose, with the hips stacked on top of the knees, except place your elbows on top of the blocks. Bring your hands into a prayer position, and then bend the elbows, bringing the thumbs to the base of the neck to feel a nice stretch in the triceps. If you don't have blocks, you can always use a chair or stack some books or similar. We want to create the same action in this pose, so with each exhale, melting the chest down towards your mat. We'll stay here for several breaths, trying to keep your awareness present throughout each pose, so trying to prevent it from drifting away with your thoughts. But whenever noticing that you're drifting away, just bring your awareness back onto your mat. And on your next inhale, moving slowly, you can begin to make your way out of the pose, so rocking forward, moving up the blocks or chair away if you were using them. Sit back on your heels, roll out your shoulders, and then you can make your way onto your belly. We're going to move into a stretch that stretches the backs of the shoulders. So we're going to thread the left hand underneath the right, palm faces up. Right hand can stay extended up. Your forehead can rest down on your mat, or if it doesn't reach, it can rest on a folded blanket or a pillow. And just allow the weight of your body to soften down on that left arm. So with each exhale, seeing if you can soften your weight down a little bit further, feeling the sensations in that left shoulder just slowly increase as we hold in this pose. Now, you can choose to deepen here if you'd like. If you feel fine exactly as you are in this pose, you can choose to stay. Otherwise, if you'd like to deepen, bring the right arm down, bend at the elbow as you internally rotate that arm, bringing the back of the hand to your lower back. Then you can begin to slide the back of the hand up towards the upper back, and then bend the left elbow, bringing those left fingertips to the right fingertips. If they don't reach, feel free to use a strap or a towel between your hands. So now in this pose, while we can still work into the back of that left shoulder, we can also work on the internal rotation of the right shoulder. Allow yourself to soften here again. Notice any muscles that are engaging. Allow them to soften. Notice if any of the muscles in the legs are engaging, the glutes, the belly, or the lower back. Notice if any in the muscles of the shoulders. Is the right bicep engaging? Allow it all to soften with every exhale. We'll stay here for just a few more breaths. See if you can really take advantage of these last few exhales to soften even further. Also notice if you're holding any tension in the face. Allow the muscles of the face to soften. After your next exhale, moving as slow as you need to move, gently release the hands, release the right hand back up, and release the left arm up. When you're ready, we'll switch to the opposite side. So threading the right arm underneath the left, palm faces up. Left arm can extend up, palm face down. And allow your forehead to soften down on your mat or on your pillow. Allow the weight of your body to surrender down on top of that right arm, allowing the sensations to increase in that right shoulder. Let your awareness settle on your breath. Notice how the sensations change with the fluctuation of the breath. Allow yourself to continue to soften and surrender. Remembering to soften the jaw, the tongue, and the eyebrows. And if you choose to deepen in this pose, you can bring that left arm down, internally rotate, bringing the back of that left hand to the back, sliding it up, and when you're ready, bending the right elbow, bringing the right fingertips to meet the left fingertips, or using a strap or towel between the hands. Allowing yourself to soften once again here. Notice if that left bicep is active. See if you can begin to bring some softness to that area. So every exhale, see if you can bring a little bit more softness. We'll hold here for several breaths. After your next exhale, moving again as slowly as you need to, release the hands. Gently release that left arm and extend it back up. Release the right arm and extend it back up as well. If it feels nice on an inhale, just quickly reach out through the fingertips and then exhale. As you open up the arms, palms face down to either side so that they're in line with the shoulders. Bend that right elbow coming up onto the fingertips. Check to make sure that that left arm is in line with your shoulder, palm is facing down, and when you're ready, press into those right fingertips and roll onto the left side of the body. And if you'd like, just gently swinging that top right leg back, or if it's available, coming onto the sole of the right foot, right knee pointing up towards the ceiling. So here we're getting a nice stretch on the front side of the shoulder. So we want to make sure that we move into the pose until we feel the tension just beginning to develop. And then we want to just be and hold in the tension. Be conscious not to force yourself beyond your edge. We'll stay and hold here again for several breaths. On your next exhale, slowly begin to roll yourself back onto the belly. Take a breath here and extend that right arm out, palm face down in line with the shoulder. Bend the left elbow coming up onto the left fingertips. When you're ready, pressing into those left fingertips and beginning to roll onto the right side of your body, swinging that top left leg back, or if you can, coming onto the sole of the left foot, right knee pointing up towards the ceiling. This time targeting the front of the right shoulder. See if you can really use your breath, use your exhales to find some softness in the pose. Very good. We'll stay here for just a couple more breaths. Bringing your thoughts back into the present if you notice they've wandered off. And then on your next exhale, moving nice and slow, beginning to roll yourself back onto your belly. Gently releasing the arms forward. And then walking the palms in and sending the hips back, letting yourself sink down into a full child's pose. So hips reach down towards the heels. Arms can wrap around each side, palm facing up. Allow your shoulders to just completely release. Allow them to reach down towards your mat. Use this time to just completely soften and let go of everything. We'll stay here for about 1 minute. On your next inhale, slowly begin to roll yourself back up, coming into a seated position. Arms can reach around behind you, interlace the fingers, press the knuckles down, open up across the chest, and gently gaze up. Press the palms together, and then on an exhale, gently release. Roll out the shoulders. Let your palms meet at your heart center. Take a moment to thank yourself for taking the time to practice today and to set the intention to stay committed to your practice. Namaste.